Most people do not choose their lives. Their lives are chosen for them. By noise, by habit, by hurry, by the low tide of culture that insists you must respond before you reflect, consume before you create, and drift before you decide. Drifting rarely looks dramatic. It looks like a phone within reach at every wakeful moment. It looks like meetings with no center, a calendar with no hierarchy, a life without a paragraph that explains why you wake up and what precisely you intend to build. If you've ever arrived at evening and wondered what exactly you moved, beyond the furniture of your anxieties, you have touched the quiet, costly truth of drift. Drift is motion without direction, effort without ask, energy spent without investment. It is a mind that has not taken responsibility for its compass, a day that does not report to a purpose. There is another way. It begins with a decision so simple it is easy to dismiss. You choose your direction. You select a true north. You accept responsibility for the path. You refuse to outsource your thinking to the loudest voice, the nearest screen, the cheapest opinion. You take ownership of the space between stimulus and response, between desire and decision, between today and a 10-year horizon. This is what separates the drifting from the directed and internal constitution that governs action when moods sway and noise beckons. You cannot drift your way to a summit. No climber rests on a snowfield and slides into a peak by accident. Summits are reached by deliberate steps, taken in weather both fair and cruel, guided by a compass, a rope, a plan. A life is much the same. The air thins as you rise, your breath must be chosen, your pace set, your tools prepared in advance. Drift is gravity, direction is ascent. Ask yourself with courage, what happens if I continue on my current path for 5 years? 10. What happens if my dominant thoughts remain my dominant thoughts, my habits remain my habits, my inputs remain my inputs? Trace the line honestly. Do not adorn it. If you like what you see, deepen it. If you do not, this is the moment to take the wheel. Earl Nightingale called it the strangest secret. We become what we think about. The drifting mind thinks about everything except a definite aim. Therefore, the life of drift looks like everything except fulfillment. The directed mind thinks on purpose, in alignment with a chosen strategy of life. Therefore, the directed life gathers itself and begins to match its inner pattern. The choice before you is not binary. Success or failure, wealth or poverty, applause or obscurity. It is subtler, drift or direction. Drift is a slow evaporation of potential. Direction is a slow condensation of purpose into results. Drift is a passive oath to randomness. Direction is an active covenant with cause and effect. You need not fix everything today. You must choose. You must say, in language visible to yourself, this is my direction. Write the paragraph. Name the horizon. Set your compass. From this moment on, every small action will either subtract from or add to that aim. Simplicity replaces confusion when you know where you're going. You will not become less human. You will become less divided. Sit with paper, not a screen. Write the sentence, I am choosing my direction. Beneath it, answer 3 questions in full sentences. Who am I becoming? What will I build, contribute, or solve that matters beyond me? What will I refuse so I can honor this? Clarity is purchased with honesty. Pay in full. Direction without a definite purpose is a slogan, not a strategy. You need a statement that can govern your days, not decorate them. Write a paragraph you can read at dawn and at dusk, each line a rail your time can run upon. Use plain words. Avoid the theater of overpromising. Make it specific enough to guide a Tuesday morning, and grand enough to withstand a hard year. A model. I commit the next 10 years to becoming a calm, disciplined builder of domain or craft. I will serve specific people by creating specific value, measured by specific outcomes. I will practice daily in focus blocks, protect my mornings, and maintain standards for health, attention, and relationships. I will say no to clear list of distractions, and I will review my progress weekly in writing. I accept full responsibility for the causes I plant and the effects I reap. This is not poetry. It is architecture. Purposes do not guide because they sound beautiful. They guide because they are clear. A pilot does not need a lyrical flight plan, only a precise one. Napoleon Hill called it a definite chief aim. Benjamin Franklin carried a small book of virtues to govern his conduct, tracking with unemotional regularity. Marcus Aurelius kept a private journal, not to impress Rome, but to remind himself who he must be when Rome pressed him. Viktor Frankl discovered that meaning is not found. It is chosen, and then chosen again. You have the same instrument they had, a mind able to decide. Write your purpose in the present tense. Your mind responds to present instructions. Write it by hand. Your hand is an instrument of commitment. Write it slowly, aloud if possible, morning and night. Your voice is the bell that calls your scattered thoughts into formation. A purpose is not a prison. It is a path. You can update your paragraph as clarity refines. But do not update it daily. That is drift disguised as agility. Commit to a season, 90 days of faithfulness before adjustments. You cannot steer a ship that never leaves harbor. Now, attach goals to the paragraph. Goals as blueprints, not fantasies. Each goal must answer, what is the outcome? By when? Measured how? Supported by what daily practice? If the goal is a house, the practice is each brick laid before noon. 1,000 days of small bricklaying can look like overnight success to the untrained eye. Choose 3 goals for the next quarter. Only 3. Too many goals breed drift through dilution. Let one be about your craft, one about your body, one about your relationships or service. Why the body? Because energy is the interest rate on execution. Why relationships? Because no purpose of consequence is built in isolation. Why the craft? Because excellence is your obligation to those you serve. Post your paragraph and your 3 goals at eye level near where you work. The mind respects what is visible and repeated. Make your environment complicit in your success. Direction becomes destiny only when you accept responsibility for causes. Life is not a casino. It is a farm. Farmers are not surprised that corn does not appear the morning after planting. They are not offended by drought. They prepare the soil, plant in season, water, protect, wait, and adjust. A farmer who curses the sky never grows a field. A builder who blames the weather never completes a house. Responsibility is the quiet acceptance that conditions are real but not sovereign. Causes are yours to choose and maintain. Cause and effect is not an argument. It is an observation. Plant thought, reap action. Plant action, reap habit. Plant habit, reap character. Plant character, reap destiny. Remove any link and the chain breaks. Overcomplicate any link and the chain rusts. You do not need more motivation. You need a smaller ask performed repeatedly until it is a habit. Then another, then another. People often confuse urgency with responsibility. Urgency is loud. Responsibility is steady. Urgency screams, do everything now. Responsibility says, do the right thing next. Urgency runs on adrenaline. Responsibility runs on principle. Adrenaline crashes. Principle compounds. The directed life favors principle. Write your next right thing, each evening. 3 outcomes, not tasks. Outcomes, pressure tasks to organize themselves. Draft chapter outline is an outcome. Open document is a task. Schedule and hold 2 feedback conversations is an outcome. Email John is a task. Train your mind to think in outcomes. Outcomes create motion with meaning. 90-minute blocks are the workhorse of depth. Depth is where value is made. Remove notifications. Close the door. Put the phone in another room. Choose a single outcome. Work until the block ends. Stand up. Breathe. Step into light. Then return for another block, or to handle necessary shallows. Your calendar should reflect your hierarchy. If your priorities are not on the calendar, they are not priorities. They are hopes. Responsibility is not self-contempt when you miss. Responsibility is self-correction. Ask what specifically got in the way. Skill, system, scope, state. If skill, schedule practice. If system, redesign steps. If scope, reduce until the unit of work is easy to start and hard to stop. If state, adjust sleep, nutrition, movement, and inputs. Fix the cause, not the blame. When someone wrongs you, take responsibility for your response. You cannot control their causes. You can control your chain. Calm is not weakness. It is mastery of self. A calm response often saves months of repair. You will be glad you decided your principles before the pressure asked for them. You cannot aim your life toward a horizon while feeding your mind the equivalent of sand. Inputs matter. What you read, who you listen to, where you spend your attention, these are seeds hidden in plain sight. Most people outsource their mental diet to algorithms designed to harvest attention, not deliver truth. You must become your own librarian, your own curator, your own gatekeeper. Conduct a 7-day audit. For 1 week, write down the first 5 things you read or watch each morning, the last 5 things you read or watch each night, the conversations that leave you better and those that leave you smaller. At week's end, draw a line through anything that does not serve your direction. Replace it with the simplest possible upgrade. Replace 30 minutes of scrolling with 10 pages of a book that has outlived empires. Replace late-night outrage with early morning planning. Replace gossip with questions that invite people's strengths to the surface. You will feel the difference within days. Within months, others will notice. Within years, it will look like luck. Imagination is the workshop where you rehearse the person you are becoming. This is not daydreaming. It is mental training. Close your eyes and run today's vital block in your mind. The start, the focus, the inevitable distractions, the calm return, the completion. See yourself hold steady when boredom arrives, when doubt whispers, when someone invites you to drift. Then start. Your body learns from this rehearsal. Your mind recognizes the path and is less startled by the work. Self-image governs performance. You behave like the person you believe yourself to be. Upgrade identity through evidence, not slogans. Decide a standard. I am the kind of person who starts on time and finishes what I start. Then design tiny commitments that allow you to collect proofs. A single kept promise at 6 a.m. is heavier than 5 motivational videos at midnight. Stack kept promises. Keep them especially when unseen. Confidence is built out of sight and spends itself in public. When your mind throws old labels, I'm scattered, I'm not disciplined, I always procrastinate. Answer with present tense commitments tied to action. I create focus-friendly spaces. I do first blocks before messaging. I make it easy to start. Tie identity directly to behavior you control. This is sovereignty, the right to declare who you are by how you act. Finally, protect solitude, not isolation, solitude. Pockets of quiet, where you meet your purpose without an audience. Think on paper. Ask what is essential now. What is the smallest faithful act? What is noise disguised as urgency? Solitude is where drift dies. Without it, the world thinks for you. Busyness is the camouflage of drift. It feels like movement. It looks like effort, and it fools even sharp minds when the calendar is full and the inbox is loud. But progress has a different scent. Progress feels like the right thing moving, not everything moving. Progress honors a sequence. Busyness worships volume. Adopt a simple rule: no more than 3 outcomes per day, 1 deep block per outcome, minimum. If a day explodes, salvage one block. Protect your streak. Streaks build identity. I am a person who advances my mission daily. The bar can be lowered without breaking the chain. A 10-minute block done is more powerful than an hour imagined. Measure weekly in a single-page review. Answer: minus. What did I move that matters? What did I learn? What did I drift? Why? What will I change? Progress tells the truth. It does not flatter. It does not shame. It reports. You, in turn, adjust. Be wary of vanity metrics, views, likes, surface approval, when your aim is mastery, contribution, or leadership. Vanity metrics are loud, easy to measure, and unrelated to your mission's integrity. Favor metrics connected to value: drafts completed, customers served, problem solved, skills improved, relationships strengthened, promises kept. Build dashboards that answer: am I becoming the person who can carry this purpose? Drop the myth of multitasking. Multi-switching shreds attention and invites drift. Focus is a moral choice when others depend on you. Close doors. Turn off badges. Leave the phone in another room. Do one thing, then the next. Your future self will call this kindness. Let your no become a tool of progress. A clear direction makes no simple and non-defensive. You are not rejecting people. You are protecting a mission. Good people will understand. Good missions will require it. Every hour you guard is a seed you plant. A personal philosophy is a compact set of rules that govern your life under stress. It is a constitution. When storms rise, you do not negotiate. You refer to it. Write 5 to 7 statements. Put them where you will see them daily. Use language you would speak to a friend you respect. Examples you can adapt. I keep promises, especially the quiet ones to myself. I value outcomes over optics and depth over noise. I plan in the evening, execute in the morning. Review on Friday. I practice the vital few daily and let the trivial many wait. I answer conflict with calm and clarity. I trade short-term approval for long-term respect. I leave people better than I found them. These are not slogans. They are standards. The difference shows when it costs you. Standards are expensive on purpose. They purchase a life you are proud to inhabit. Align your environment with your philosophy. Place tools in reach and temptations out of sight. Set your desk for work before you sleep. Put your running shoes where your feet will land. Keep your best book open to the next page. Leave your purpose paragraph displayed. You are not proving willpower. You are designing defaults. Defaults decide what happens when you are tired. Choose companions who honor your philosophy. This is not snobbery. It is stewardship. The people nearest you will normalize either drift or direction. With them, be the example, not the critic. Invite them to walk with you. Some will not. Keep walking. Review your philosophy quarterly, not to replace it, to refine it. Pressure reveals where language is too vague. Results reveal where commitments are too soft. Adjust words until they bite. Words that bite are words that hold. The directed life is long-term by design.
Drift is short-term by reflex.
Long-term thinking is not daydreaming about a distant future. It is the present decision to send resources forward, saved money, develop skills, strengthen relationships, health invested today to be spent decades from now. It is the cultivated patience to let causes ripen into effects on their proper timeline. Compounding is the mathematics of directed lives. 1 page a day produces books. 1 honest conversation a week produces trust. 1 focused block produces momentum. 1% daily improvement in a critical skill produces exponential advantage within a year. But compounding punishes drift. Skip often and the curve flattens. Flirt with urgency and you become hostage to adrenaline. Return to the steady gains, they are the quiet miracle. Quiet excellence is excellence without theatrics. It is the workmanship of those who know that the world eventually pays for value, and that value is created in concentration. Quiet excellence produces a calm confidence, the kind that does not need to announce itself. You see it in the way a person begins on time, in the quality of a finished page, in the patience of a mentor who answers the same question with fresh attention for the 10th time. Do not confuse recognition with significance. Recognition is others seeing you. Significance is others being served by you. Recognition may come or not. Significance is a choice you make now. Aim for significance. Let recognition chase it. Design a 10-year vision you can compress into today's practice. Write a page describing a single day in your life 10 years from now, where you wake, what you create, who you serve, the conversations you have, how your body feels, how your schedule reflects your philosophy. Then ask, what is the smallest faithful action today that fits that page? Do it. This is how direction bridges time. When discouragement arrives, and it will remember that the scoreboard lags the practice. The day you feel least effective may be the day you learn the adjustment that doubles your future efficiency. Judge yourself by faithfulness to process first, results second. Results arrive. Processes endure. There comes a day when you realize you have become a person who does not drift. Not because the world got easier, but because you became clear. You wake and you know what matters. You begin and you keep your word. You encounter noise and you let it pass. You hear applause and you nod. You hear silence and you nod. You walk your path. Others may misunderstand. That is acceptable. Direction is expensive. Pay gladly. When people ask for your secret, tell them the truth. You chose a direction and wrote it down. You turned thoughts into causes, causes into habits, habits into character. You fed your mind with inputs that served your aim. You built mornings worth waking up to and evenings that set the next day to succeed. You said no to good to protect great. You practiced calm courage under pressure. You learned from data instead of drama. You treated discipline as kindness to your future, not punishment for your present. You can choose now. If your life has drifted, if your days have become a blur of obligations, if your mind feels leased out to every demand except your own purpose, you are not broken. You are uncommitted. Commit. Do not wait for permission. Permission is what drift requires. Direction requires decision. Write your paragraph today. Choose your 3 goals. Plan your 3 outcomes for tomorrow. Prepare your space. Protect a 90-minute block. Begin. Send yourself forward the way a wise ancestor would bless a descendant, with resources, with order, with love disguised as standards. Stop drifting. Choose your direction. Hold it. Walk it. Let time, that honest accountant, compound your faithfulness into a life that needs no defense. We become what we think about. Think on purpose. Live on purpose. And let the quiet revolution begin in the only place it can, within a single sovereign mind that has chosen its north and refuses to surrender it.